Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. Yesterday I posted a video rounding up some bits and pieces of news regarding HeroQuest. I'll link to it in the video description below. We talked about the arrival of the Frozen Horror on the companion app, the announcement of pre-orders for the Rogue Heir of Elethorn expansion, and a new downloadable dungeon design kit from Hasbro. There's so much going on at the moment, I jokingly commented that there would probably be more news to share by the time I had uploaded the video, and it turns out I wasn't far wrong. There is some more news to share, and so I'm back with a brief update, and that means you get a bonus video this week. First of all, let's cover the... well, I was going to say bad news, but it's not really bad news. Concerning news maybe? Or at least something to be aware of? On August the 3rd, Hasbro announced pre-orders for the new Rogue Heir of Elethorn character pack. This is similar to the previous Guardian Knight expansion pack in terms of content and format, but different in terms of distribution. The Guardian Knight was a limited promo item sent to retailers who stocked HeroQuest on launch. It was an incentive for stores to get behind the game, as by placing orders they got some of these super rare characters that they could use in their own sales promotions. That meant a lot of people missed out on the Guardian Knight, and there was a bit of backlash. Hasbro acknowledged this wasn't a great situation for fans of a much loved game, and they promised the Rogue Heir of Elethorn wouldn't be so hard to get. Giving the expansion a general release without making it a special promotion was a good start, but furthermore they limited the number of copies that people could buy from Hasbro Direct. If you were ordering from Hasbro Pulse in the US, there was a limit of 2 per customer, and if you were ordering from Hasbro Pulse in the UK, it was a limit of 1 per customer. Despite those restrictions, about an hour after I uploaded yesterday's video, UK stock at Hasbro Pulse ran out. It's gone. It would seem Hasbro are still really struggling to understand just how big HeroQuest is. But really, I suspect that this run on orders is down to 2 main things. 1, people panicking because they missed out on the Guardian Knight, and 2, scalpers who saw how much the Guardian Knight sold for on the secondary market, thinking they can make a quick buck here. Once Hasbro can prove to people they don't need to panic every time there's a new release, this sort of thing should die down, but only if products continue to be available. And with this particular product, it looks like Hasbro may have bungled that a bit. Again. However, we don't need to start gnashing our teeth just yet. There are a few things to be aware of here. First of all, it only appears to be UK stock that's run out. In the US, Hasbro are still taking pre-orders. More significantly, Hasbro have allocated stock to third-party retailers, and even in the UK there are numerous places that are still taking pre-orders right now. I pre-ordered with Zavvi myself, but I know the UK retailers Firestorm Games and Thirsty Meeples, among others, are also still taking pre-orders. So there's no need to panic just yet, and you should definitely check in with your retailer of choice to see what they are offering. The other important thing to be aware of is even if the Rogue Heir sells out, there's nothing stopping Hasbro from making more. When the Guardian Knight vanished in a puff of smoke, they weren't able to make more because it had been created as a retailer exclusive. They couldn't break the terms of the contracts they had made with those retailers, but that's not the case here. So there's always hope that if they sell out completely, they will fire up the molds for a second run. And now, with that out of the way, let's move on to some really exciting news. Way back, before the core set was even at retail if I remember correctly, Hasbro shared an image of the female elf holding a child's doll. At the time I noted this was in line with the storyline of the HeroQuest pack Mage of the Mirror, and I predicted that would be the next expansion after Frozen Horror. This wasn't a prediction that came out of left field or flew in the face of general opinion. It always seemed obvious to me that the first expansions Hasbro released would be remakes of the Barbarian and Elf quests. They were the expansions that weren't originally available in Europe, so are more well known in North America, and as the original versions of those expansions used the North American rule set, they were much easier to port to the new edition than Wizards of Morcar and Against the Ogre Horde. It really just felt like the obvious choices. And lo and behold, at Gen Con 2022, Hasbro have showcased Mage of the Mirror. And there was much rejoicing. The picture I've put up on screen here is floating around all over the internet right now, and I haven't been able to confirm who took it. But here it is. I'm sure most people watching this already know what Mage of the Mirror is all about, but basically it's similar in format to the Frozen Horror. That means you get a new alt-gender version of the elf hero. In the original expansion, that meant you got a female elf. However, when Hasbro relaunched HeroQuest, they made the elf in the core set female, and that means our new elf hero in the expansion is male instead. While there was a male version of that elf available during the crowdfunding campaign as a backer incentive, this is the first chance for those buying at retail to get a male version of this particular hero, and it should be pointed out, this is an all new miniature. It's not the same as the one from the crowdfunding campaign. Even though I don't personally care if a hero is male or female, I know many people do. My wife and daughter always like to use female characters, for example. It would be nice if one day there were male and female versions of all of the heroes, and I'm pretty sure that will happen eventually. Anyway, the Mage of the Mirror expansion includes a new campaign, which starts off with several quests that are intended for a single hero, the elf obviously, before moving on to a more traditional series of quests for a party of 4. And of course we get some new enemies. There are elves, wolves, an archmage, and the mighty ogres. Being from the UK, I really only know the ogres from Against the Ogre Horde, which had some really unusual rules, but I understand the ogres from Mage of the Mirror were particularly scary, not least because they had 10 hit points. It looks like they might have been nerfed in this new edition. It's hard to tell from the picture, but it looks like they have had their hit points halved to 5. The picture also suggests the expansion will include alternative designs for furniture elements such as bookcases, treasure chests, the throne, the fireplace, the tomb and the desk, as well as new doors and portcullises. That seems weird. I understand if they wanted the furniture to be more in keeping with the theme of the expansion, but I don't know. I like having plenty of dungeon elements at my disposal, but I'm not sure I really needed different versions of existing elements. Maybe I'm just miffed because they only included a card token for the Forge in Keller's Keep, which was really crying out for a plastic piece. But anyway, I'm not going to talk too much more about this expansion at the moment. It's only just been announced, certainly won't hit retail until 2023, and there will be plenty of time to dissect it at length as more information becomes available. I suspect a lot more pictures to come out of Gen Con as the event continues, and I'll post further updates if I feel there is something particularly noteworthy to explore. For now, it's enough to know that there are plenty more adventures awaiting us, and it really does feel like Hasbro are just getting started. And that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so, and hopefully I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.